New territory. Please join us.
You can hear Stateside with April Baird this afternoon at 3 and this evening at 8 o'clock right here on Michigan Public. Support for Michigan Public comes from Carytown Market and Shops located in Ann Arbor.
Excerpt from Michigan Public radio station. Citation.
Used in any of the shops. Carytown.com. In the Michigan Public weather forecast, today we'll have mostly cloudy skies. There's a chance of passing showers and thunderstorms in much of the region. Highs today will be in the low to mid 80s in most places. There is a flood watch that will go into effect this evening in most of our listening area, affecting about 30 counties, ranging from West Michigan to Southeast Michigan and all of the Thumb. That's as remnants of what was Hurricane Beryl pass through the region. They could be bringing heavy rains. This is Michigan Public.
When it comes to trade, are India and Russia best friends now? Hello, this is the Marketplace Morning Report, and we're coming to you live from the BBC World Service. I'm Leanna Byrne, and a very good morning to you. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Russia right now to, as he puts it, deepen ties between the two countries after a day of informal talks over tea in Russia's President Vladimir Putin's suburban residence. Today's talks are expected to be more formal. The BBC's Arunadhay Mukherjee can tell us more. Hello.
Hi, Leanna.
These two are big trading partners at the moment, so presumably this is going to be a lot about trade.
That's right. That is going to be prioritized, and we need to understand this in a geopolitical context, really, because this is a time when the West has boycotted Russia, but India is sending out a message that they are not boycotting Russia. In fact, trade between India and Russia nearly doubled last year, hitting around $65 billion. And this was primarily driven by India buying deeply discounted Russian oil. But having said that, the top priority for officials as they talk will be to try and correct the existing trade imbalance, because while you have bilateral trade hitting $65 billion last year, the exports from India are making up just a little over $4 billion. And India is not happy about that, which is why they're trying to enhance this trade relationship to make it a bit more equal, and they're hoping that this visit is going to lead to the possibility of exports across various other sectors like pharmaceuticals, like information technology, and agriculture as well.
And do you think that's something Russia is open to?
How India and Russia have described it is that the environment is always conducive for talks between the two countries, and they're hoping that they can make some headway in terms of improving their trade relationship, along with other aspects like defense and security as well.
And what is the United States going to think about this? Because it has a good relationship with India.
Absolutely, and I think that is the key aspect that we need to look out for, because this is certainly going to be a tightrope walk, because India has to, on the one hand, find ways to grow its ties with Russia, but on the other hand, India also needs to ensure that it does not antagonize the West. India has abstained from any voting at the UN against Russia. It has not openly criticized Moscow for its war in Ukraine. All of these aspects have been watched by the West, but India has remained steadfast, saying this is an old relationship. We are a developing economy. We need to do what is required at the moment.
Arunadhay Mukherjee, thank you so much for joining us in Marketplace.
Thanks for having me.
Now, China's biggest electric car maker and Tesla's big rival, BYD, has reached a deal to build a $1 billion manufacturing plant in Turkey. Comes days after new tariffs on Chinese electric vehicle imports were imposed by the European Union. Here's the BBC's David Waddell.
BYD's new plant will have the capacity to produce 150,000 vehicles every year, so says Turkey's state news agency. The project will create 5,000 jobs and starts production in just over 2 years' time. BYD has been reaching hard into Western markets, but was landed last week with a high additional tariff on the vehicles it ships from China to the European Union. Turkey's part of the EU customs union. Vehicles made there and exported to the EU would avoid this special tariff.
David Waddell reporting. Now, let's do the numbers. Investors are still uneasy over the political gridlock in France after the election. France's CAC 40 is down 0.5%. Meanwhile, Chinese stocks are on the decline, while Japanese stocks are hitting record highs.
Distribution of Marketplace Morning Report from the BBC World Service is supported by Palo Alto
Citation.
Networks. Palo Alto Networks delivers what's next in cybersecurity innovation to protect today's digital way of life. Learn more at paloaltonetworks.com.
Citation.
Parental leave. We love to compare it across countries. Under US federal law, the majority of working dads can take 12 weeks of unpaid parental leave. But let's look at Sweden, which has one of the most generous policies in the world. There, fathers and non-birthing partners can take just as much or even more than the other parent, and that's all covered by the state. Starting this month, new parents can share their leave with other people, like grandparents. Here's the BBC's Matt Savage.
Southwest of Stockholm, Katrineholm is a quiet industrial town, and Per Edlund was one of the first fathers to take paid parental leave here.
Our first daughter was born in November 78, and then my wife stayed home for 5 months, and then I stepped in.
Sweden first began offering parents 180 days of paid leave to share between them in 1974. So how did it go?
Wow.
Well, overall, it went well. Of course, I was a bit unsure in the beginning.
The Social Democrat politicians who introduced the policy wanted to create a more gender-equal society. Nowadays, both heterosexual and LGBTQ+ couples are entitled to 480 days paid leave, funded by the state. Most parents can take home 80% of their salaries, capped at around $4,500 a month. Although the benefit isn't as generous for parents who don't have a stable full-time job. In Stockholm, Martin Roxland runs a tech startup and is currently on parental leave. He says it's almost taboo if his male co-workers don't take any time off when they have kids.
Obviously, it has an impact. On the other hand, being so common and widely accepted nowadays, it's less of an issue.
Some businesses even use the policy to encourage international talent to move to Sweden. And Swedish companies including Volvo and Spotify offer similar deals to their employees worldwide. But researchers here at Stockholm University say childcare still isn't shared 50-50. In 2023, around 30% of all available leave days were taken by fathers. And sociologist Ylva Moberg says there's evidence that centuries-old gender norms are tough to break.
Women are still doing more housework, more childcare. They are still seen as kind of the primary caregiver.
Per Edlund argues there's a lot to be gained personally from taking parental leave.
Sure, it can be challenging at times, but it's incredibly fun too.
He's now got 5 grandchildren, so he can enjoy those experiences again. I'm the BBC's Maddie Savage for Marketplace.
And in the US, the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act has just come into effect. You can hear my Marketplace colleague, David Brancaccio, getting the facts from the chair of the US Equal Employment Opportunity Commission later today on Marketplace Morning Report and at marketplace.org. I'm Leanna Byrne for the Marketplace Morning Report from the BBC World Service. Thanks for listening.
Distribution of Marketplace Morning Report from the BBC World Service is supported by UKG. UKG is a partner that delivers HR, pay, time, and culture solutions designed to help build a great workplace for everyone. UKG, our purpose is people. This is APM, American Public Media.
You're listening to...
All right. News in the morning.
2 minutes.
Next time on 1A.
News in the morning. Wake up, finding out what's going on in the world. Sound like Sweden might be the place to live. You know what I'm saying? They care about their people. Care about their people. They'll never do that in America. Not even the 180 days, let alone 400 days. Are you kidding me? No, sir. Never happened. Can you say never? Never, ever? Never, ever? Ever, ever? Not in America, capitalistic society. Hey, people, it's time to wake up and see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? You have the illusion of freedom here, but no rights, only privileges. Read up on it. Read up on it. That's the issue. You got to read to find out exactly what's really going on. Because that book about the straw man, wow. Yeah, you need to Google that. Check up on it. You're going to find out some stuff about your country. You never, ever, ever would have believed. Like the death camp that was here in America. Over 20,000 African Americans just left there to die. The things that they hide. And when you talk about it, they want to call it critical race theory. Really? Yeah, it is critical. It's very critical. Because it's how y'all maintain power for so long. It was strategic. And guess what, folks? Now they're doing it to everyone. Not just the African, not just the Asian, not just the Arab, not just the Irishman, not just the Scottishman. Huh? Not just the Italian, not just the Jew. Everybody had their day in the shade, boy. Them Eastern Europeans, they terrible. They terrible. Terrible. Oh my God, look at history. That's all you gotta do. Look at the things that they've done. The Great Atlantic Slave Trade was basically spearheaded by them. Yeah. Sure was. And the Catholics played a large role. The Pope, the Queen. But then you get to America thinking you have some prestige. Yeah, those families that run this place, they don't care about that. They might even be of your culture and nationality. And still, you see what goes on here. It's crazy. I don't understand it, but I do understand it. But I don't understand it. It's a way to stay in power, but you selling your soul. Those people are soulless, the 1%. And the ones that still do have a soul are slowly losing it because they're complicit to what's going on. So every year that they remain complicit, they start to miss it. More and more of their soul leaves right out of their body until they become a zombie. Tool of Satan, just like the rest of them. So wake up, 99%. It's time for us to band together. They're trying to keep us thinking that it's because of ourselves that we're getting treated this way. No, it's because they're greedy. It's because they've been infringing upon us, disenfranchising us, exploiting us.